Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is attempt number 2 to go live today. Those who are in the Zoom room understand what I'm talking about. But I want to say a word of welcome to everybody, whether you're watching it live with us right now or you're watching this on replay. It's the midweek fill-up. In my opinion, this is the most important time of your week, of your day. This is the Coaching Corner. And I just love that visual that we get when we think about the Coaching Corner. It's a differentiator. It's a difference maker for anything that you're going to do in your life, is to be able to go aside and speak to and engage with your coach. Just a real practical, like right now example of this is going live a few seconds ago and getting into my whole spiel about the Coaching Corner and what the Coaching Corner is for, and how in the NFL you have the halftime show, and while the rest of us are being entertained, you have, the coach in the locker room sharing out coaching. I mean, we're talking about insights and perspectives. He or she is on the sideline. He or she is not in the game. They can see what's happening and give insights for people for us, as the players, to go back into the game and make a complete change. The Coaching Corner can be a difference maker, and I hope that is what it's going to be for you as you take a pause in the middle of your week, in the middle of your content, in the middle of all that you're doing. A real right now example, as I shared earlier, is that I went live, and it wasn't live on the right channel. It was live on some other random thing that would never go live. It would have never worked, but I couldn't understand why I wasn't seeing any numbers rising on YouTube. So while I was presenting, I just decided to kind of glance over at YouTube and realize that I wasn't in the right space. These are the things that we do not get a chance to see for ourselves when we are playing in the game, when we're actually head down doing the work of creating the content, of understanding how this hook framework can really do its job, putting the right thumbnail together, not just the stupid YouTube look, actually a thumbnail that will cause somebody to have some kind of curiosity and actually win the click. When we're doing that work, it can sometimes be really hard, really difficult to pull out and see it from a different perspective. And I see several of you are chiming in already. I haven't seen G. Albert in a long time. I just want to say a word of welcome to you. Canva AI Tools, always good to have you with us. Of course, Tracy's with us in the Zoom room. So is David Hunt. And Mac, we call him affectionately. His name is also David, but we call him Mac. What I want to share with you today, as we dive in, is the Sherpa shift. The Sherpa shift. And I started by kind of front loading and talking about this whole concept of the Coaching Corner. That's the name of this show. And that's what I love to do. I just feel like every area of my life has been improved because I got a coach. Not just one coach, multiple. I've got a finance coach. I've got a men's coach helping me to be a better man. I've got a parenting coach, like how to be a better father. I've got a coach for my diet, and then a coach for my fitness. Like, these are different areas of expertise. And while I am coaching others, and I always say this to people, if your coach doesn't have a coach, fire that coach. Because there's not much that you can learn from a coach who's not being coached. I'm sorry. I hate to step on your toes so early in the video, but it's just the truth. And I want to talk to you today about this shift. It's called the principle of guidance. I'm just so excited about it. I know I need to calm it down a little bit, but it's the principle. It is the principle of guidance. Have you ever plugged into that? Have you ever felt it? Have you ever felt the need for guidance? Canva's laughing at me. I feel you. Have you ever feel the need for guidance? I want to share this concept regardless of what you want to do with content, you are a personal brand. And where personal brands fail is when they set themselves up to be the focal point of the story. When they put themselves on the pedestal and they adjust the spotlights to look at them, they ultimately fail. They're not going to get the same kind of response that they would have liked. They're not going to have the same kind of impact that they would want because they set themselves up as the focal point. The coach can't focus on himself, yet the coach could have the most pivotal and impactful role in a person's life. That doesn't mean that the coach is the focal point. The reason why the coach is pivotal and impactful is because the coach focal point is you. The market doesn't need another diva. The market needs more guides. The market needs more guides. And I want to ask you, are you guiding? Have you been guided? And are you guiding others? When we have been impacted, significantly, irreparably by the impact and influence of someone else who gives of their time, effort, and energy, who has a vested interest in your success, when we've been impacted by that, there's no more natural response, I should say, than to turn around and be that thing for someone else. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to somebody and they're like, I'm like, how did you become a therapist? It's like, man, I actually ended up having to go to therapy. And it was, my therapist was one of the most pivotal and impactful influences in my life. And I wanted to have that same influence, that same impact on others. And because of that, I just naturally went this direction. You don't have to be a therapist to be a coach, but therapists have their place. Let me just add that in there real quick. My point is, wherever you're, why I love coaching is because whatever your expertise is, you can coach in it. Wherever your expertise is, you can coach in it. And as a coach, you're making the person you're working with the focal point of the story, the hero of the story. Are you posting content to set yourself up as the hero of the story? Or are you posting to help your client survive the climb? Oh, survive the climb. This is where the whole Sherpa shift comes in from, right? A Sherpa is a guide. A Sherpa is a guide, and usually they help you guide you up to the summit, right? Not every summit is Mount Everest or Kilimanjaro. Some summits are smaller, lesser known, more attainable, I would say. Definitely for the common crowd. But you pick up, you hire, you seek out a Sherpa because the Sherpa has been up the mountain multiple times. They've got street cred. You pick out a Sherpa because that Sherpa understands the pitfalls and the stumbling blocks and the different places to avoid because they've been up to the summit multiple times. A Sherpa doesn't climb the mountain for the client. I want you to hear me on this. I wish I could spend more time, but I want to get to your questions. But a Sherpa doesn't climb for the client. They're not a consultant. This is not paid services. That's a different kind of engagement. This is why I love coaching. A Sherpa helps the client get to the top. Watch this, alive. I mean, because if you get to the top and you're dead, I don't really know what the point is. I see some of my Zoom room laughing. If you get to the top and you're no longer alive, you're missing a limb, right? And you get to the top. This kind of defeats the purpose. A Sherpa helps the client get to the top alive. How can you help your clients? How can you help those you have been called to serve get to ascend, crest the summit, and arrive there in a way that allows them to enjoy the view? Not just surviving the climb. You could survive the climb almost by yourself, depending on the mountain, depending on what you're trying to achieve. You could just bang your head against it for a little while. You'll figure it out. But the reason why you engage a coach, the reason why you engage a Sherpa, the reason why you look to the YouTube University for help, and you come across Mini Scenes GB, and you come across Canva AI tools, and you come across David A. McElhaney, and you come across, G. Albert, you come across these people who have set themselves up as a guide. You want to shift your content from look how great I am to here's the map. Here's the cheat code. When you make the audience the hero, you become indispensable. You become indispensable. You plus whatever it is they're facing equals success. You're indispensable. You're not making the focal point you're making the focal point them. And what you set yourself up is as the guide. Here's the map. Here's the map. The challenge with content is that you have to take the time to make it abundantly clear to the person that's watching that they need the map. This is where all the stuff comes in. The title, the thumbnail, the tags, the search engine optimization, working with the algorithm. The first 30 seconds in the hook, you've got to make them intimately aware that they need a map. And once you do that, now I'm not saying control them. I'm not saying, there are some wordsmiths out there that really know how to do a number on you, and you get sold something. You're like, man, I really didn't need this, but this guy could sell ice to an Eskimo, right? I mean, you realize that when you realize you've been sold, it's never a good feeling. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying just say whatever is necessary. No. You want to help your audience identify that their real issue is this, and this I have a map for. If your issue is not this, then you don't need this map. Because I want you to win. I want you to be successful. I want you to get to the top alive and enjoy the view. I want you to enjoy the fruit of your labor. I want to pull out of you all the potential that is buried within. When you make the audience the hero, you as the Sherpa, as the guide, as the coach, you become indispensable. So my challenge to you today, as we get into the rest of our session, there's 11 of you watching live, is to stop trying to be the celebrity. Be the Sherpa. Yeah, my name is Kirk Nugent. I love being here on the Coaching Corner. And I want to just take a second here in the middle of the show to just kind of go back through and highlight, see who all we got. Man, what's going on with my comments today? How does that comment look like that? Why does that? That's weird. Let me see. Let's go to this scene. Let's see if this scene has are the comments any better in this scene? Yeah, there they go. Okay, it's still a little high, but at least it's a little bit better. Albert says, "Hey, Mr. Kirk, I'm at VA hospital recovering from sciatica surgery, currently on the mend." I'm glad to hear that you're on the mend, G. Albert. Thank you so much for coming through. It's been a little bit. Haven't seen you for a while. Canva AI2 says good afternoon. Good afternoon to you as well. Always good to have you. Mini Scenes GB. Always love seeing that little green frog show up on my chat. This is Tracy. She says, hi, everyone. She is one of our moderators. She's got that blue wrench. She's going to be helping guiding you guys through this thing. She's also in the Zoom room, and I can see her. It's pretty dope. Always good to see people kind of talking back and forth to one another in the chat as well. Definitely excited for that. Canva AI Tools was laughing at me. I listen. I definitely have given you plenty to laugh at today. Oh man. Oh, Tracy's in the Zoom room, says all the time, all the time. Now, James Bush, I haven't seen you in a very long time. Excited to have you on. I have, however, been catching your live streams, and so I've just been tickled by those. I see your is it evening? Is it nightly? And you have sometimes some guests on there with you. It's always dope. The Gator McCluskey rules says, I moved to StreamYard from EVMux. Frustrated to see you can't set up a stream. Bring in all your JPEG slides, bounce out of the studio, come back in, they're gone. Have to re-import one at a time. I have no idea what you're talking about, Gator, but because none of that is my experience. Sounds like you might want to check out a couple more tutorials, because that's not how StreamYard works. I've left the studio in the middle of a live stream, not because I wanted to, because I lost power. I had to open up my laptop, reconnected to the same live stream. It was still live. All my stuff was still there. The StreamYard studios are set up similar to how EVMux is. All your assets are already there and they're ready to go. But if you're creating multiple different studios, you will have to use one as a template to create the other. But my point is, StreamYard is all of the things you just said. I know that StreamYard does, and I know that being frustrated sometimes, maybe I don't know if you're moving too fast. I don't know, but I've been using StreamYard for a very long time. And actually, one of their latest features is that you don't have to import everything one at a time. So I don't know what's going on, but I hear you, and I hear that pain, and I feel you. You're in the right place. This is the Coaching Corner. We love your questions here. I just haven't experienced any of the things you just talked about. So if you can engage with us a little bit further, let us know, give us a little more detail, and maybe pick one thing that you're facing, and let's see if we can unpack it a little bit. We can try and do that today. I did want to just say a quick word of shout out to those who are in the Zoom room. David Hunt, come off mute for a second and just talk to me for a second, man. David, what you got going? I know Tracy is already. Well, she just muted herself. I guess, yeah. So Tracy, come off mute for a second since we're waiting on David to come on in. Tracy, what you got going on? And then we'll try and hear from
just busy trying to stop the cat knocking things off the side and unplugging my laptop.
Oh no. Come on.
I have an infiltrator.
We need you to work with us today. Work with us. That's so cool. I love
I'm a bit poorly, so sorry if I sound and look a bit rough. I've got a cold.
Well, we're glad that you were able to come through. I saw you put that in the chat, hoping that you get better really soon, that it's not one of those that has you, down and out for a considerable amount of time. That's never good. It's never fun. So I really hope that's not the case for you.
Mark had it for about 10 days, so I'm hoping that yeah, so I'm hoping it won't last long. I've managed to do a bit of filming, but I sound like really weird.
Yeah, that's really, but yeah, listen, sometimes you gotta push through. If you're not feeling terrible and you can record, most people that watch our stuff, they can't tell the difference from when we're sick and when we're not. Though I can hear a little bit with you, but it's really not as that different that I would notice it. But I'm telling you, as long as you feel okay, go ahead and push through. Let's see what else we got. We got Mac. Mac is in the Zoom room. What's going on, Mac? How are you today?
I'm good. Of course, this is our third class together this morning. I look a little more presentable now. I had my workout clothes on the first video, and I went out and walked 4 miles, and then I was all sweaty in the second video, and now I'm bathed and everything.
Oh, my word. That's so cool. That's so cool. I want to say to those who are watching on YouTube for the 10, 11 of you guys that are watching, we're excited that you're with us today. But if you want to join in the Zoom room, and if you want to continue the conversation even after this live stream is done, definitely head on over to kirkarnugent.live/school. Tracy has already put that in the chat. I've got that comment up on screen for everybody to see. And just want to make sure we get a chance to check that out. I know Ed had joined for just a second. I do not see Ed now. I don't know if we lost him. And David, just go ahead and come off mute whenever you're ready, and we just want to greet you. But Morita is with us. Morita, are you? I don't even know if I'm saying that correctly. Morita, thank you for being with us today.
You are saying it correctly. Yes.
Oh, cool. And you're a new member in the community as well. Is that correct?
It is. Yes. Yes. Very excited. When you find a community that supports you, you just want to jump on it. You want to do as much as you possibly can.
Well,
receive all of the love. And I see you guys at Oakwood every Saturday. I leave my church and hop on YouTube and watch Oakwood, OUC.
Yeah.
So I just see how you guys operate, and I'm excited.
That's so cool. Well, that's so cool. Well, look, you're getting some love in the chat as well. Everybody's saying welcome. Thank you so much for being with us and for coming through. That light is blinking red inside the community, and we got a couple 20, 30 people in there, and we just have a handful that have joined us. But I'm excited that you're with us today. Thank you so much for being with us. Always good. I hope that Ed comes back in. I know he connected and then disconnected. I hope that he comes back in. Let me see what else we got here. David is off mute, so let's see.
Yes,
David,
sir.
what you got, man?
Hey, you know me, on a Wednesday afternoon, it is time to be mobile.
It's mobile.
I'm in the mobile space today, and
Tracy already put it. She's like, he's in the car again. Oh, but we love it. We always love when you're able to come through, David. I catch your lives a lot more regularly now. I'm on a whole different workout regimen where I'm up. I do my miles a little earlier because it was so ridiculously hot here in Huntsville. I was trying to get my miles in earlier before the sun really starts to come out and bake. But so I'm seeing your lives a lot more regularly. I actually got a chance to comment the other day, and you responded back. And yes, I unfortunately I am not going to be at Creator Camp this year, brother. But hopefully you guys still have a phenomenal time, even in spite that I'm not going to be there. We do have a question in the chat. I'm going to see if I can grab that. But before we do, David, any updates? We haven't heard from you in a while, man. Any updates? Anything new? What are we doing from a content perspective? We want to hear, man. This is the Coaching Corner.
Yeah, I'm still churning in the background. I want to make sure it's done right.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
As you were saying, I'm listening to my Sherpa in the background saying, "This is the way, walking it." So,
listen. So here's what I'll say to you, David. Your comments are dangerously close to procrastination. I have to say it. This is the coach in me. I've got to say it's dangerously close. Anytime I hear somebody say, I want to make sure everything is right, I'm working in the background. Don't work in the background. Work in public.
Okay.
Share what you're doing so that we can help hold you accountable. Even if you just put it in the community, that allows us to know what you're doing and giving you feedback and asking for dates, like what time, what day is that next video going to drop? What are you going to actually take this thing for a spin? Those are the things when we talk about the Sherpa, we talk about the guide, we talk about the coach.
Yep.
This is, I can't climb for you, but I can make sure you arrive alive. I can make sure you arrive in one piece. And sometimes what that means is challenging you to like, no, seriously, why are you not posting? You don't have to answer now, but I just wanted to make sure we get a chance to engage. He said I wasn't going to. I love it, man. I love it. I see Candace is on with us as well. Candace is in the chat and says, hey, happy Wednesday. Candace, go ahead and you should be here. You should be in the Zoom room. Candace has been on with us for in the Zoom room many times before, but we're excited to have you in the chat today. Candace actually came by the studio here at the new studios that we have for composition. We opened up a new studio. For those that don't know, this is part of that space. In fact, if I cut to my other camera shot here, that's actually the other studio in the other room. That's studio number 3, and it's a little bit of a larger space. I've got a PTZ camera over there, and if I cut to this other shot, this is behind the scenes behind me. So it's right here, but you can kind of see this is definitely different. This is not where you're used to seeing me. We have moved all of our stuff into a new office space, which is more publicly accessible, and we are super excited to really work with people in this space. Thank you, everybody. Getting some good feedback there. I was sharing with some of the crew earlier during our coaching, during the Inner Circle call, that we have updated the website as well. And so on the website, you actually have here, Content Studio open in Huntsville, concierge experience, introducing composition studios. Walk in and record a 90-second reel in Studio 1, have a podcast style conversation with a guest in Studio 2, host a hybrid training with up to 10 people in person and unlimited online in Studio 3. All of the benefits, none of the friction. And so if you click that, it takes you over to this page, which is the studio page on the composition website. We all have all our packages here. But the main thing I want to show you is if you're local, you can actually go through and schedule a tour. You can schedule a tour, and every tour comes with a free recording. So that's pretty dope as well. And I hope that is of something that you might be interested in. So definitely looking forward to that. All right, let me see what else we got here. I know we had a question, and that was, let me see here. All right, so Gator McCluskey is still with us. Thank you so much for hanging in here, brother. We appreciate you. You'll find this to be a very, communicative community. And so it's not just going to be me that's chatting. We're going to be kind of wrestling with this thing together. And one of my StreamYard, in fact, in our community, the moderator for StreamYard content is Dr. Vibe, and he is just joined the Zoom room as well. So Doc Vibe, come up here. Let's see if we can respond to Gator McCluskey together. Come on up. You're unmuted.
I am here.
There we go. There he is.
Hey,
all right,
what's going on? All
right, let's read this together. So Gator says, to clarify, the media cloud uploads are fine. So his media assets are fine. This is StreamYard. I'm talking about the present slides or PDF selection at the bottom. Those don't seem to stay after bouncing out. Now, I'm talk to me, Doc Vibe. You're an avid user of StreamYard as well. What's been your experience with this?
I have not used. First of all, greetings to everyone. Hope Kirk, you and the family are fine and safe. Getting to the question, I haven't used the PDF feature a lot, but I have StreamYard open in the background, and I can try and do it right now and see what happens. Now, has this just been a current situation, or has this been always happening? I would ask back to the person who's asking the question.
Well, he said he just moved over from EVMux to StreamYard. And he's been a little frustrated by some of the things that he's finding. Now, I'm gonna I think I can do this. Let's go here.
Yeah, maybe we can do something in live right now and see what happens.
Let's see here. So me and Doc Vibe are still here. This is StreamYard. I'm gonna actually so Gator, you're getting the full thing here now, man. I hope it's okay if I call you Gator. I didn't want to say the whole thing, Gator McCluskey, every single time. So now I'm gonna showcase some stuff here. So when you go to add you could click on this thing right here. It's like, okay, you can do an image file, you can do a video file. But when you go to slides and PDFs, are you seeing this, Doc Vibe?
Yep.
I have several presentations already saved in here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I do it. They're all here. I just logged in. I haven't added anything, but these presentations stay here. And if I upload another, it stays here. So those are slides and PDFs. I guess that's why I wanted to show that on screen, because I wanted to make sure I understand that. All right. Second thing Gator says here is I add my stills to media assets cloud, but seems they only show full screen as opposed to having them on screen with me. Sorry, hope that makes sense. No, it does make sense. You're giving us way more context now because I was a little lost on the first one. So no, yeah. And so here I'm gonna, put your comment away. And again, I can't thank you enough for hanging with us here. Others, if you have questions, just put a Q colon and we're gonna get to them. This is what the Coaching Corner is all about. Might be a little bit longer today. Usually we go a half hour. We're at 34 minutes right now. We'll go a little over. We got time. But yeah, media assets, when you load them here, those assets are definitely not, they're not meant to, I think I went into the wrong studio because in this account, I'm only on, I think I'm on a free plan on that account or something like that. Or anyway, let's go. Okay, let's go back into the studio again. But when you load assets into the media assets area, you are correct in that you're not going to have, you're not going to be able to do it any other way except for full screen. Now, if I go to media assets, I can go to, let's go to reflecting forward. So here, if I were to, let's go, I'm going to change this.
Wasn't there a feature? I think it's maybe for overlays or backgrounds where you can adjust the sizing.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think you can
now. That's for overlays. I don't know if it's for me. I don't know if it is for media, but they did release a feature in the last little bit about adjusting size.
So yeah, overlays. Here it is. It says
I don't know if it applies for media though.
Here it says transform. Yeah. So if I click transform, I can make that media asset any size I want. This is I'm learning now. I got to be honest, Gator. I'm learning this with you in real time. So when I do that, I can say save as new, or I can just save it. Now, I don't want to save this because, well, I need this to actually work for the client whose StreamYard session I'm in right now. But let's go ahead and save it just to see. Okay, so now every time I pull up every time I pull it up, it comes up in that way. And here, what I should have kind of slowed down and did a little earlier was I have a lot of different brands under the brand, in different folders. So different shows, different brands, if that makes sense. So I have different graphics for different shows. And I just switch between them. And look, that graphic is still there. Now, if I go back here to transform again, all right, and let's put it back to what it was, and I click save. Now it's going to take full screen, but and I take it off, I can take it on, take it off, take it on. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to see what else Gator's saying here. Let's see here. All right. What's going on?
Kirk, can I just interrupt for a second?
Please, go ahead.
Yeah, so also the Gator and for other people using StreamYard, when you do a transform of a media image or property, it also gives you the option of copying it to you if you have any other brands on your stream. Yes, it allows you to copy to other brands if you have other brands on your StreamYard account.
Oh wow, you see, I'm learning this in real time. Now, I'm gonna have to probably move StreamYard over a little bit because me and Dr. Vibe are actually on top of what I want to show you. Yeah. There it is.
Yeah, so because when if you click on the dot.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just me or
copy the brand.
Yeah.
So
whatever, I don't know if it's just me, but you're cutting in and out a little bit, Doc Vibe. Is that happening for everybody else?
Okay, sorry about that. No.
Okay, all right. I wasn't sure because I've got a new internet connection here as well, so anything's possible. But yeah, you have this copy to brand. And that would allow me, if I click copy here, I can actually select a different brand and copy this graphic to that other brand. So you do have some, other ways to be able to get in here and get that thing done. Let me go back to let's go back to our regular screen here, and I'm going to grab a couple of comments. Candace is here. She says, "Happy Wednesday, everybody." Canva AI Tools says, well. I think she was saying this when I was talking to David Hunt. Always good to see everybody kind of engaging with one another. Thank you, James Bush, on the congratulations on the same space. And Candace is saying, how do I get into the Zoom room? What? Candace, okay, go to kirkrnugent.live/school, which is the link that Tracy posted. Mini Scenes GB posted it in the chat. Go there. I believe you already are a member of that community, if I'm not mistaken. Let me verify.
Yeah.
I think she is. I want to say she is a member. I thought she was, at least. Let's go to members and search members. No, I don't see her in here. That's weird. So I don't know what happened there, Candace, but you definitely, definitely just go there, add yourself back in, and let's get it going. Let's not even play around. All right, so she's gonna get that set up. She's actually in the testimonial video that we just recorded for the new studio. So thank you for coming through this week, Candace, and hanging out with us. Oh, there we go. Tracy's already. You guys have already done all the work. I'm just behind. Thank you. G. Albert says, so did you what? Did you confiscate another bedroom for your new studio? No. We moved into an office space that is publicly accessible. We can meet with clients here. We can do client projects. And everything is separate from the home. In fact, Kanique now has her office back, which is it just makes my heart leap because I'm so happy. She lent it to me for a season, and now I'm out of her hair, and she has her office back. Albeit it is now painted gray, and it has some some lights and different things stuck to the walls. But I think she's happy to be back in her office. Get in the Zoom. I don't know how to get in the Zoom. To the calendar. Oh, just go to the calendar and go in. I don't know. But let me see. I know that we have a couple other things here. Are there specific forms, contracts, or paperwork we should provide guests for podcasts? Oh, this is a great question. Morita, this is a great question. I'm coming to your question, but I do know that Gator has been responding back to us. So let's see if we can let's kind of confirm with him that we're getting where he needs to be. Just started using it, but a friend confirmed the frustrating behavior. Got it. Gator is me, LOL. I love it. I love the name Gator as well. It's a cool name. All right. He says, wow, the overlay thing is great. Thanks. Does it remember the location? Yes, it does. Okay. That's perfect. I was bringing in multiple slides along the bottom, like guests. They drop off later. Yes. That I figured that's what you were doing, and I wanted to show you what we showed you because I thought maybe that might be helpful, and it sounds like it was. He also says copy to brand is a great ad. Now here I want to tell you, Gator man, listen, StreamYard's rolling out functions and features like there's no tomorrow. I got to be honest with you. I'm in the EV Mux group, and as you know, I love those guys. I've done a lot of work with those guys, but they've got to get it together because. Now they did release dual mode. You know they did, but
they did do that.
But they had a full outage. Like everybody lost everything. I just want to.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are you?
They had an outage. They had a security issue. Now I don't want to say. I shouldn't say everybody. Multiple accounts lost all their assets.
Oh my goodness.
And they had to go back in and set them up. My account was not affected, but I'm just saying. You got to temper your expectations. Gator, you're in the right place. You're in the right community. You've come to the right place. My son actually uses EV Mux, like still right now. So we're not talking about. I have multiple. I use Restream. I use EV Mux. I use Ecamm. I use StreamYard. I even use some stuff that you guys are not even aware of, and that's okay. That's my job as the Sherpa. You like what I did with, but that's my job. But for you guys, I'm always mindful. Like there's always going to be a version of hard. Now I'm in coach mode. You got to choose which hard you want to go with, and staying with EV Mux is a version of hard. Let me be clear. But going over to StreamYard, while StreamYard I think is a great platform, it will also have some hard because it's a transitionary period. It's not what you're used to, and you're gonna kind of have to find your footing all over again. Go ahead,
Kirk. Can I jump in for a second?
Absolutely, man. This is
I feel it. I hear 100% what you're saying too, because there is a show that I co-host where I have to download stuff from Riverside. Riverside, their user interface is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't, if I wasn't part of this show, I would never go near Riverside. It's confusing to me. So if there are any people who know people at Riverside, clean your user interface.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating.
And they haven't done a good job of really prioritizing live streaming as well. This is what I mean. So Durham Skywriter says, I used to use StreamYard, but I switched over.
Know her for many years digitally. Yes.
Yeah. See, and I now switched over to EV Mux. And this is what I'm saying. And the reasons for, you may have absolutely valid reasons to continue using EV Mux.
Yeah.
Having left StreamYard. But, and they do not negate the reasons for which Gator has switched from EV Mux over to StreamYard, or even Doc Vibe has switched from EV Mux back to StreamYard. So each person, I'm very aware that everybody's going to have their own use case, and they're what makes a platform right for Kirk may make it wrong for Doc Vibe, and we have to leave space for that for both of those things to exist and be true.
Well, one of the things I use in my life is that everyone walks through the world differently, and you got to respect that.
Yeah.
Like Kirk, I'd love to use, what you use, but I don't have an Apple ecosystem. I love your platform. I love it. I love it, but it's not right for me right now. Not to say it's never going to be, but not right now. But everyone I respect, like EV Mux, as Kirk and some people know here, I love them. But then once the dual stream went out, and I go, guys, what's going on? And I actually emailed them, and they said to me, it's not on our
roadmap
priority list right now. I said, okay. Again, that's why I have a monthly account. I'm gone.
Yeah, Canva AI Tools, give me your real name and I will go and check to see if you're still in there. I forgot what your real name is, and if you give me that, I'll check to make sure to see if you're still in the studio. And Morita, don't worry, I've got your question pinned, or I should say starred. So I'm coming to your question just now. I just want to see if I can catch up to all of these comments that are coming in. Kirk, the calendar is blank. The time was only for a half hour. Yeah, but you can still. Okay, all right. So we need to do a quick school tutorial. Is that what we need to do? All right, let's go. Let's do that. Let's do that real quick. Doc Vibe. All right. So if you're in school, right, you just go to the calendar. That's Classroom. Go to the calendar, and you see where it says Coaching Corner. I'm not gonna click it because if I click it, it's gonna show the Zoom link to the entire world. But if I click this, even though it has passed, you can still go and enter.
There's a pop-up. There's a pop-up that comes up with a Zoom link,
and you can enter you can enter Zoom right there. So that's good. Let me see here. Did Gator have any other things? I think he was just saying the pin comment thing is something that he figured out, which is pretty dope. Let me see here. Hope you feel better soon as well, Tracy. I'm so glad you decided to push through and show up today. Appreciate you, Kirk, and your guests. Cheers. Thank you so much, man. I'm glad we were able to kind of share a little bit. But listen, don't hesitate. Find any one of my videos, Gator. Drop a comment on there and say, hey, I'm trying to figure this out. Don't bang your head against it. Don't go it alone. That's what I've set my channel up to be. I want to be the guide. I want to help. I want to be a facilitator for your success. And so if that's something that I can do that. And Gator, you might want to consider joining the community. I don't know. I'm just saying, you might want to consider. Maybe even easier there. So definitely some things to look at. Yes. He says that's on Media Methods. Yeah, but they're the same. They're the same, David. They're the same. I mean, meaning they both have the same calendar feature. So yeah, let me go back to the screen share. So this is what it looks like in the No Edit Creator Lab. And yes, it's 1 p.m. If you click that, you're going to get the Zoom link and you can enter the Zoom room. Okay. Now, this is a great question from Morita. She says, are there specific forms, contracts, or paperwork we should provide guests on our podcast? I do have them fill out a form because I just want to know how to spell their name right. I want to know, it's like what their handles are ahead of the podcast. So I don't want to have to try and collect that stuff after they've come and been a guest and they're gone. I want to know that stuff ahead of time because, in the edit or actually in the live recording, I may want to flash that on screen, have a little lower third that says, Dr. Vibe, blah, 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 blah. That's what's in the form that I have guests fill out. I used to use, when I had a lot more guests a lot more frequently on my live show, it's kind of like a podcast, I would use Calendly and I would just include those as questions in the form that they had to fill out to be able to book the show. And then they would also pick which, show they wanted, which episode, I should say, like what date and time work for them. Whereas with a podcast, it's not live, so you don't necessarily have to do that, but you can have them choose what date and time works for them to do the recording. So those are things that I always do. I also like to make sure that guests have a little bit of a guide, if you don't have studio lights, try to sit with the light in front of you as opposed to behind you. That always helps the camera. Always try to elevate your laptop or whatever it is you're using so you're eye level with the camera. That's also something that I like to do. Try to prioritize the audio as well. If you can close the door, if we can select a time where nobody else is home, those are things that I try to have in that document for my guests because I want them to put their best foot forward. I always try to give them some of the questions, or at least the topic that we're going to be talking about, even though I've kind of gotten away from that as I've shifted to the new format for my podcast, because I just find the more organic, real-time response is way better. But these are great questions, Morita, and I would love for you to be able to, share some of those in there. Talk to me, Doc Vibe.
Yeah, some other potential suggestions. It depends where you're at. You ask, is there anything they want to promote?
Yes, very true.
Also, what are all their handles that they want to share where they can be contacted?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Depending, so it all depends what level, how deep you want to get with them, but definitely what Kirk shared about, the technical aspects, especially.
Yeah.
And they may say, well, why you ask me that? Well, I want you to look as best as you want, right? I want you to be, represent yourself as best as possible. So I again, it just depends where you're at in your podcast. Other thing too, like I've been on shows and like they're saying, agree that this material is going to be shared on other platforms, all that sort of stuff. I've had to fill out as a guest. I don't do it myself, but again, it depends how deep you want to go.
Right. No.
That was going to be my next question. Like, how deep do you go? Also, do you all advise to a disclaimer? And I say that because I'm a licensed counselor.
Mm-hmm.
And when you interview people, sometimes it goes left.
It does.
Right? It does. And so do you suggest and have you all use a disclaimer before the show even starts?
Can I ask a question back before I answer that?
Mm-hmm.
What would be your reason to have a disclaimer?
Well, again, I'm a licensed counselor, and when you bring on other therapists or even pastors, sometimes the opinions we don't agree.
Yeah,
I would also maybe put on that form saying that, it's their opinion, not your opinion, because you're also somehow in your show setup. You want to say the opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily of
Morita. No,
me, but I
take a different approach. Now, I think everybody's going to do things differently. I have the awesome responsibility and privilege of working on multiple shows, and in several of those instances, we absolutely, just based on the content of what was being dealt with, we absolutely put a disclaimer at the beginning. Oh yeah. We absolutely put a disclaimer at the beginning, a special one per the episode, not a general one, a special one based on what we knew what was going to be in that episode. And these are, of course, this is, from a production perspective, we are recording these ahead of, and then producing them, right? And so if you have that latitude, then you can do a specific, like, hey, in this episode, we're going to talk about some things that are going to be really triggering, especially anybody who's gone through any domestic abuse or domestic violence. We've definitely had to do that. Now, on my own show, where I do interview, different kinds of folks, some of them counselors, whatever. It doesn't really matter what the guest thinks. And this is where I'm saying my slightly different approach. I was on the stream show on Sunday night with DJ Strick, and I kind of shared this similar thing. It's your show, and I think this is one of the things I always try to coach people is the guest is not the focal point. I think we have just all been so taken with the Oprahs of the world, and Oprah has a phenomenal ability to have a guest on her show and still be the focal point. She can focus the attention, quote unquote, focus the attention on the guest, and we still want to know what Oprah says. We do. But we're not Oprah. And so what I say to coaching clients, and I'm saying to you, where it is, your show is about what your show is about. And it kind of goes back to what I was talking about in the beginning of this, today's Coaching Corner. You want to put your audience as the focal point.
Yes.
So I have a long conversation with the guests to let them know. In fact, I don't even use the term just guest anymore. I say, you are my guest co-host, and we together will teach this topic. Okay? We together will teach this topic. The only reason why we want to hear anything about your story is as it bears relevance to us teaching this topic. Because you are not the focal point. The audience is. And I've created an atmosphere here where my audience knows they can come and get this particular type of value. So I don't just want you talking about random nonsense. I'm gonna pull your chain. If you're out here like, I want to say this, hold up now. You can say that on your own platform. In this space, however, we're prioritizing what we created this channel, this podcast, this show, this content about. And I hope that makes sense. Those few shifts have helped me drastically over the years. Yeah.
Because when you said that, it automatically had me thinking about the, forgive me if I don't know the correct word or
that's okay.
The title, the cafe. When you guys do the cafe after the sermon.
Yes.
Right? Like you focus on the content of the sermon and what the people are saying in the chat, and then you bring in the pastors who
absolutely.
So that makes it like
you've got
connected the two.
Yeah, you've got it. The focal point should be the focal point. I think gone are the days where it's like, oh, I've got this interesting guest and I don't really care what they say. I'm so excited to have them on my show. Nope. It could be a Barack Obama. I'm like, Doc, we're talking about content. Okay. So now figure out how you can get in line with me, because you're going to help me guest teach this thing. And Barack Obama, if you're listening, I would like to have you on my show.
Hey, I would take Michelle before Barack. By the way,
listen, Barack, you heard Doc Vibe. He doesn't like you, and I do. No, I'm just
joking. Go away now. Easy now. Stop your noise. Stop the noise.
Oh man.
I have one more because
absolutely.
My breath jumped in my throat when you guys started talking about it, because two things. Earlier when you were talking to the gentleman about preparing and research and stuff, and I was doing that, but it only takes somebody to tell you that you're going to lose the name of your company through trademark, and you're going to lose some money if you don't get on board with what you said you're going to do. That's why I started my podcast, right? I just jumped right into it. But me jumping right into it is I used Riverside.
Uh-oh.
Riverside. And Spotify. So now I'm like, when you talked about it, I was like, oh.
No. Now Spotify is not bad. Spotify's not bad.
Okay.
And I will say this, depending on your workflow, and you got to understand, Doc Vibe is a live guy. You're right. I mean,
Well, yeah, I'd say I'm starting to do some pre-recorded stuff, but the majority of my content is live. Yes, but I'm beginning to do some pre-record. I actually have 2 shows a week now. I'm doing pre-recorded.
We're just pausing here to say thank you for being with us today, Mac. We always appreciate you coming through. And as I said earlier on the call today, I don't think maybe I said that before anybody else got on. Mac is going to be graduating from our digital footprint program on August 31st. And so I will make sure that information is in the community. It will be live on the YouTube channel. So, several different ways to join in and watch and participate. And then you can learn a little bit more about that program if that's something you might be interested in. But we're excited about what you've been doing, Mac. Excited about the growth, and thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us today. Know you got to run, and I just want to make sure we pause there and say that. But I want to get back here quickly. Riverside is not good for live streaming. Period. Point blank. End of story. Why I do like, it has some redeeming qualities where produced videos are concerned. I hope that makes sense. So if you're gonna record it, download it, and edit it all together, Riverside really is great, especially for remote, because they record local on computer, then upload it after the fact, so you can get high quality. Some of the highest quality remote recordings I've ever been able to get have been from Riverside. So I want to share, that balance. Now, I don't know what your workflow is, if you're just kind of recording it live to drive, meaning, there's no editing afterwards, or are you editing it afterwards?
I'm editing it, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it. But my plan is, because I just started the podcast in July 1st.
Sure.
And so the plan is for a few months, people can get accustomed to the name and to my voice and expertise. And then I'm going to invite people.
Oh, yeah. Yes. You're doing it the right way.
So but then when Doc said Riverside I was like, oh, so then now what do I use?
So
what do I use for the...
No. And I think Doc Vibe will agree with me. The best platform is the one that you can get it done.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah. I am personally frustrated with some of the features and functions of Riverside, but if you're getting it done, there is no better one. You should not be looking to change. You should be hold fast. And if anything, you want to, kind of look at Riverside, figure out what your pain points are. What would you like to see it do? And then go to them and tell them, hey, what can we do this? Can it do this? And only when they respond back and say, we're not doing that stuff, that's when you begin to go back to the marketplace and see what could be the thing that you could switch to. I think that's what Doc Vibe did with EV Mux. He switched over to them, had some frustrations. It's still good. It's a viable option. But when they told him, that's not even on our roadmap. We don't even that's not a priority for us right now. He already knew what he needed to do. Those were his marching orders. So I think that's helpful. Go ahead.
So one other thing I just asked. So with your subscription to Riverside, is it monthly or yearly?
I just pay for the year.
Yeah, that's the best way.
Okay.
Yeah, I paid for the year. It was the most cost effective. And I'm having a lot of fun learning about, editing and things like that. And so, but because at first I started off with the live. I couldn't get my eyes straight because they always look down. I'm like, forget it. I'm just going to do the audio. But my concern is the transitioning to, I want to invite one guest a month and I want to do it live. I just, what are some suggestions, since we're admitting that Riverside doesn't always meet the needs of podcasters?
It doesn't meet the need for live streamers. Like you're streaming to YouTube, streaming to Facebook, streaming to LinkedIn. But if you're going to edit it after the fact, you have a lot more latitude to be able to kind of overcome some of those limitations of the platform. So,
well, I want to do live with the guests. I want to stay audio for me, but when I invite guests, I want to do live and I want to stream it.
Oh, got
it. So some of the guests, that I already have lined up, they're in different states.
Oh, yeah.
And so
can I make a suggestion?
Yes, please.
If you can, find a friend or do some tests lives.
Yeah.
Test it out and get the feel of it, because before you invest, you should investigate.
I love that.
Do a live with somewhere friend. It doesn't have to be long, maybe 10 minutes or 5 minutes. If you want, you can delete it after. Just get the experience of using it. Say, okay, or even go on by yourself and just fool around with it, because that's a lot of times what I do is if there's a new feature and I don't understand, like for example, when StreamYard you introduced vertical streaming, I just said, okay, I went late one night on YouTube, was like 11 o'clock on a Saturday night or Sunday evening, and I just went on for 10-15 minutes and just tested it out, figured it out, and then after I just pulled off the video from YouTube and deleted it. So test it out.
Gotcha.
And you're in the community, so if you want to test with somebody, you could just drop a message in the community.
I'm happy to
say, hey, I'd like to test this thing out. Is anybody free to just jump on with me real quick? And you can shoot them the link. I mean, that's, to me, this is the reason for the community. It's a lot more robust than just than what we can do on YouTube, right? In terms of talking with one another. We have the chat, which is great, but we can have a lot more interaction in the community. So definitely do that. And I can't thank you enough for coming through today. Your questions have been phenomenal.
Thank you.
Great questions.
Thank you.
Tracy, I know you were there as well. Did you have anything you wanted to throw in there?
I don't think so.
Even suggestions for Morita? I wasn't sure if you heard what we were talking about. I know Tracy's experienced a good amount of success where content's concerned. Absolutely. So we value your opinion. So
I think that's, I was just going to say, I think the advice of doing a practice thing first is absolutely essential. I had so much trouble with getting my audio to work over the years and getting a camera in the right place and practicing looking at the camera and things like that.
So true.
Practicing makes so much difference.
So true.
And I've got us before each stream now, because I'm so used to having to unplug things, plug them back in again, try to make sure everything's working, that I always buzz Mark, who's probably just in the next room, and say, can you hear me okay? Does my camera look all right? Just to check everything out before I actually launch into something. And that's helped a lot as well.
Yeah. So wise. I think that's great advice, regardless of the platform, regardless of what you're actually working on. That's great advice.
Yeah. I'm still using Restream just because I find it really nice and simple.
It works for you. There you go.
I don't, I'm not using too much of the trimmings and things. I like the fact that I can download the 3 bits of film if I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
On the audio separately, if I'm going to then edit it to use later.
I got to tell you,
it's just so easy.
I was walking through some of the functionality that I use every week in Restream with a colleague of mine. He was like, man, I might have to go back and reconsider, but I don't use it at all for streaming. I don't use it for guests or any of that stuff. I use it as a distributor for my of course, church service. I use it to be able to stream a video as if it was live. I use it to string together videos because they have that playlist feature. Those are all clutch. And I don't know any other platforms that's doing it quite like Restream is for those things.
No.
So I haven't
tried the playlist yet.
Yeah, it's like
that's something I do need to have a play with. But
it's like having a what's the term I'm looking for? It's like putting all your videos on a timeline, and it just streams all of them as if it's one video. So
you're kidding.
Handy,
oh yeah, it's a game changer.
I also use it as a private meeting room.
It's not a bad idea. Yeah.
If you don't, there's been a few times when I've got together with somebody just to go through a couple of things, and I've said, do you want me to record this and send it to you later, so that if you need to refer back to it, you can.
Yeah.
And we either do or we don't, but we can just use it as a meeting room.
That's so good.
Which is good for me.
Yeah.
It's just good practice for using it for me as well, that is.
Absolutely. Listen, I got 2 more questions. I want to see if I can grab these real quick. Let me see here. I'm gonna try and this question is large, so I'm gonna try and pull it up on screen here. I don't want to cover anybody here. So this is from David Hunt. David, how did you get a question in? David says, how would you use your Sherpa robe and advise someone who is thinking about YouTube as a platform in light of the new 8K qualified hours and 20 million shorts views for YouTube Partner Program? On February 1. What I would ask that person is the same thing I would ask anybody. Why are you getting into content? Because if you're getting into content because you want to get into YouTube Partner Program, you've already failed. If we're talking about being a Sherpa, the whole Sherpa concept wasn't just for me, it's for all of us. I actually shared that as a guide, as a guiding principle. Stop being the celebrity, be the Sherpa. I'm saying if you're getting into content because you want to go viral, anybody who can tell you I can manufacture virality is either figured out a way to pay for it or they're lying to you. Because viral, we can't control. And yeah, February 19th, February 2027 is a long way away. February 19th is a long way away. All right. Let me, one second, y'all. One second. Oh, my bad, y'all. Listen, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. My apologies, y'all. I knew I went over time. I didn't realize how far over time I had gone. But yeah, that's one of the questions you got to ask yourself. February is coming, yes, but that's not really a deterrent for those who figured out that YouTube Partner Program is only one way of thousands of ways that you can make money off of your content. If that is a priority for you, then you can do that. But that's not, in my opinion, where your focal point should be as you get started. And so I just wanted to kind of respond to that really quickly. He said, I could sing if you like. Listen, you guys are amazing. I truly appreciate you guys speaking the hard truth. Yeah. Listen, I try my best not to pull any punches. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that we are setting ourselves up for success. I see a final question from Albert here. Fam, what are your recommendations? Eye placement, because when I review the videos, my eyes seem to be wandering all over the place. Now, wandering all over the place is not a problem as long as you come back to center, regularly. As long as you come back to hold eye contact regularly, I don't necessarily have a problem with, because I do look off. Sometimes it's just, as you're being thoughtful, as you're being pensive, as you're trying to think through a response to a question or different things like that. You can have those kinds of experiences even while you are live, but you do want to come back to the focal point at certain point during the conversation, at certain point during the content as well. But I'm excited for everybody. I'm excited for all that we've been able to do today. I do have to leave. My guest for my podcast is already here. And I'm so super apologizing to her for going over time here because I'm running into the time that she has allotted, and I want to be respectful of that. But I want to say this as we get ready to go. Just as again, this is what we started with, and I want to end right here as well. The shift that you want to make is the principle of guidance. Personal brands fail when they set themselves up to be the focal point of the story. The market doesn't need another diva, y'all. They need a guide. Are you posting content to look like the hero of the story, or are you posting to help your client survive the climb? I love that analogy. I love that visual. Sherpa doesn't climb the mountain for the client. They help the client get to the top alive in one piece with all their extremities, right? 10 fingers, 10 toes. Shift your focus from look how great I am to here is the map. When you make the audience the hero, you become indispensable. And my challenge for you this week, as you get ready to dive into it, your coaching corner is finished. You're heading back into the work, heading back into the fight. My challenge for you is stop trying to be the celebrity. Be the Sherpa. Be the guide. Grace and peace, family. We'll catch you in the next one. It's your boy, Kirk Nugent, the Geek Speaker Preacher. Thankful for your time and attention. Remember, if you steward your story with content, you will discover purpose. You will change lives. You will expand reach. You will multiply opportunities, because this is how it all works. For we know that in all things, God works it all together for the good of them that love him and are called according to his purpose. And I'm telling you, we can do that with content. And I hope that you will engage in the comment section. I hope that you will engage with your own experiences, and so that we can actually become better together. Be blessed, family. We'll see you around these internet streets or in the next video. Later.